Okay. Hello, everybody. Um, just felt like doing a live stream because I hadn't done one in a while, and we're still dealing with quarantine and oh my god, the stuff that lay freaking the Walmart in our area is just restricting uh, what we do. They actually have what I call an assembly line of sorts that they've taken a bunch of carts and they've turned them upside down and they've put caution tape on them and tied them together and basically made what I call an assembly line, because you have to go through the line and they only allow a certain amount of people for every 1,000 square foot of space or whatever. So you go through the line, you have to get your cart, you have to sanitize it, they have handy wipes right there at the beginning of the line. If you cut under the line, they get mad and then they will tell you to go back to the back of the line. And even though I tried to talk them out of it, I explained to Jen and Faith, they're mother and daughter. Faith is the mom, Jen's the daughter. Jen is what is called a non-functioning autistic. Now, non-functioning autistic simply means that she's intelligent. You can have an intelligent conversation with her about certain things, but then, hey, Kalika, she goes off the wall about stuff and she starts fabricating stuff and she starts making stuff up and, making mountains out of molehills. And once again, I'm keeping witch hours because really that's all I can do right now. So anyway, you go through the line, you have to stop at the green tape until the guy he uses mic in the cruiser. It's an officer. He uses the mic to communicate with people and tell them what the procedure is. And I was amazed at how many people in front of me in the line today, or yesterday now, because it's after 1. It's like almost 1:30 here in Columbus, Ohio. I'm Eastern Standard Time. We spent, let's see, what time was it about when we went down to the basement? I think it was sometime in the afternoon. I don't remember. It might have been like, I don't know. I heard Jen hollering in the hallway, and I knew that she needed to have her relaxant of, the pagan mix that I have introduced her to, and I've been still playing around with the formula and trying to fine tune it and stuff. So there was 5 of us downstairs today, 4 women, 1 guy, and it's just social circle. We kept decent distance from each other. We, didn't cough on each other. I had my mask with me, so if I would have felt, the need to do so, I would have put it on. I had my mask on the entire time I was in the Walmart today. I'm just shaking up my potion here. And, I guess it was okay, but you could feel the tension in everybody and just how awkward it felt like, but we had to do what we had to do. We had to jump through the hoops. We had to follow protocol. And I totally get it. This virus is serious. It's already wiped out over 250,000 people worldwide, and it does not discriminate. It doesn't matter your race, your age, your religious beliefs. None of that matters. It don't care. It has no compassion. It just wants to kill, and kill as many as possible. And this is what I've been saying all along. And for you Trump supporters out there, don't watch this video because I ain't got nothing nice to say about him. He is Demon Trump. In my opinion, he is the Antichrist. Just everything he's doing, the murder he's committing and getting away with, the vanity, the ego, the God complex that he seems to have, that he seems to think that it's his right and privilege as a racist piece of shit to kill as many people as he can and in as short a span of time as he can, and brag about it all the way to his, cozy little spot in hell where he's probably going to go and take over because he is just pure evil. There is nothing good about this man. And for those out there that support him, shame on you because he's killing people. And how many more are going to have to die before you people wake up and realize that there's a demon running the world and it's not a nice one. And he's only just begun, I feel. People love him, people adore him, people fall for the lies. He's all about money, status, and power. And he just thinks that he's privileged and special and he can kill whoever he wants whenever he wants and get away with it. And he put down $1 million to have this disease created. And I hope that some lucky SOB, male or female, is the one that busts his fucking egotistical ass and puts him in his place and says, no more, Trump, no more. You are not God. You have killed many, many people, and you have created a virus that has got everybody scared, and people are dropping like flies, and you think it's funny. When it comes to taking innocent life, it is never funny. I've seen it done too many times. I have heard heartbreaking stories from people that I hardly knew about how their best friend committed suicide, and they've just never gotten over it. They've always blamed themselves, that they should have been around more, they should have listened more, they should have been alarmed, and they should have said something to somebody that maybe they could have gotten the person to go to a suicide hotline and at least give it a try. And maybe they would be one of those that they would have been able to talk about it and they would have been fine. We still have bed bug issues. We're trying to resolve it. You might as well say husband he has found some organic stuff that he was only able to get 2 bottles of, and he said the second batch was even more potent than the first batch. And he sprays the bed before we go to bed. And this is just one of those nights that I've still got too much that I'm trying to get done. I haven't even been able to study yet to get my first exam done in my study module 4, and after everything I went through to finally get a hold of them and say, hey, I will let you know when the money's on there, and as soon as it's on there I will let you know, but if you take it out too soon without hearing from me first, then you don't get mad at me and suddenly freeze up a third course on me because you say that you're not getting your money. I think that it's really nice, and it is magic in the manifestation of, hey, this is the magic manifesting, but you have to do your part. You can't just expect magic to do it all. And that you just bibbity bobbity boo and wave your magic wand and ding, it's done. No, this is not Cinderella. This is not Sleeping Beauty. This is HE double toothpicks, and we're all here, guys. I would like to meet Rennie and Mo. I love them for their compassion. I love them for their determination that even though this quarantine stuff's going on everywhere, they still get out there and they do something fun. They do magnet fishing. They get garbage and stuff, metal products especially, out of the rivers, which is at least they're trying to clean up where others should have and never have. I'm spreading myself too thin again, and I know it's not healthy. So the next time I have a conversation with Monita, I think I'm going to have to just be honest with her and say, look, I'm sorry, but there's only, I was, the 100 that I tried to put back towards the trip. I did that in the spirit of thinking that we were going to be able to go at the latest the end of May. And that's not looking very realistic right now, even if the cabins are open. And I meant to call them. Hopefully, I'll remember to do that today. Call Ravenwood Castle and ask them, are you guys open for business, or are you shut down as well because of the coronavirus going on? And when are you going to be open again? So I know when I need to start saving back my money towards that trip, because actually, I owe her 200 and something, because I wasn't thinking. I was afraid. Chris wasn't there with me. I was afraid even more to call him and ask him, what should I do? I thought this was a MasterCard that I could put this money on. Now I find out it isn't. It has to do with Avon. And I didn't know that because the white label that I left on it so I could activate the card by calling the number that's on there, I didn't know that underneath it was Avon, that it was an Avon card that they're supposed to put your earnings on. But get this, as a representative, you're not allowed to put any money on it. The only thing that's allowed to be put on it is what your higher ups put on it. And Jen has told me stories about this one lady, Kathy Miller, that was an Avon rep in our district. And because me and Jen are both in the same building, she lives downstairs, I live upstairs. I'm not selling Avon right now because, one, I just can't afford it. Two, I still don't know enough people. Three, I've got 5 followers on here, and I don't expect that it's going to suddenly rise anytime soon. But I keep going. I keep trying to get on here once in a while. I keep trying to do a couple live streams, even though they're just vlogs. I mean, it's always me sitting here on my couch, and the most entertainment you probably get from it is watching my cats walk back and forth across my lap as they're demanding that I pet them and spend time with them because I've been in the basement all day. Because I feel the suffering of what the isolation is causing a lot of people. And there's like 8 apartments in this building, and at least 5 of us get together down there. And we do try to be, in my opinion, as cautious as we can, even if it means, and I know Chris said this, I do literally have to start wearing my mask down there. Then I'll just try to remember to keep a mask in my blue bag, keep it in a baggie or whatever. And, only use it if I'm not down there by myself. Use it when the others are down there, because it's like, look, guys, I don't need the strain and the stress. Chris don't need the strain and the stress of the worry that one of us is going to get it and end up giving it to him, and then it's going to cost him his life. I am the last person that wants to be responsible for costing someone their life, especially him. That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to deal with the quarantine situation my own way. And right now that just means doing live stream vlogs once in a while, and maybe having a social group downstairs, but still trying to take reasonable precautions to keep from getting it ourselves. When we go out in public, we're going to be around a bunch of people. One threat that I'm trying to figure out how to shield us from the consequences of is the fact that Norma Bonita, she works, and she's got a crappy boss that goes by Miss Carolyn, that all she's concerned about is that everybody's eating at the Y, eating at her Y, and she just wants it all the time, all the time, all the time. And she considers herself a Christian, yet she is obviously a nympho. And I don't mean that. I'm not trying to be funny. I'm being dead serious. She treats her workers like crap, and Chris and Monita are going to be her punching bags today if I don't do something, if I don't try some kind of a simple spell before I get too much more tired. I'm probably too tired to do it right now anyway. I don't know how much longer I'm going to be up. And it's just right now, it's just too hard to really, for me, I don't have a lot of locations and areas in here that I can hook my laptop up to, and I can't use the big screen. which is not necessarily a bad thing because I can, when I do the playback, then I'll be able to still see it and hear it on the big screen because I like my flat screen. Um, and it was an unexpected gift that I did not anticipate getting. But I can't say this enough, guys. I really, doing the research I've done, talking to the spirits I have, believe me or don't, call me crazy, call me insane, whatever, I don't care anymore. Uh, I think 2024 is it. I think it's finally going to be over, and a lot more people are going to die, and I'm ready to build a bomb shelter. Like tomorrow if I had the money. Everybody's waiting on the stimulus checks. We're still waiting on ours, and all I can tell you is it's April 6th, and we haven't gotten ours yet. I have a PayPal card now, and I have a Capital One, but I'm going to focus on building money up on one at a time. Like every month, I will try to put at least $20 on each one. But I feel like if I don't at least get the 300 loaded onto the card, so that I can show her, look, there's 300 of it right here. This is the 100 you put in towards our food and stuff. But I need that $80 more right now. I need that to live on. I may have to use that for groceries. I don't know how much longer it's going to be before we have my food stamps sorted and have them reactivated. We have not had the state hearing yet, and that's another phone call that I fear I'm going to have to make today. Is I'm either going to have to call Mike Jackson and leave a voicemail and say, look, they're jacking around. They won't give me my hearing date so that I can get my food stamps reactivated, and I'm having to go to more and more food pantries and don't always have the gas to do it, because some of them are kind of far away. Like the main food, the Kroger one that we went to, yeah, you get a lot of stuff, but they literally gave us an entire plastic crate, and I'm not talking a little milk crate size. I'm talking a crate that you could probably fill with groceries very easily, and if you did it right, it's deep enough and wide enough that you would be able to fit enough food in there for at least, depending on how many people, a couple weeks if you planned it right, if you rationed stuff. So I ended up, let me finish the Walmart story. I ended up, like, Faith and Jen both wanted to go. They wanted to go. They wanted to see for themselves just how bad it really is and how bad it's gotten. And well, yeah, let's face it, folks, it's pretty bad. I'm sitting in a cool basement. Sometimes it's a little more cold than anybody likes, but we put up with it because it's better than sitting out in the freezing rain. I feel like if somebody's immune system gets compromised from doing something stupid like that, then that's going to lay them even more wide open to get corona. It was not easy breathing in that mask today, but I definitely cannot say that I regretted wearing it because I'm glad I wore it. I am taking it seriously, and the only way that I'm going to truly be able to prove that is just to start wearing one every time I go out in public, and especially when I have the social circle downstairs, because there's, like today, I was down there and Jen, one of the neighbors, was coughing, and I hope that it wasn't coughing as in, oh shit, I'm getting corona and now all you are going to get it. I don't want the shit. I don't want to give it to anybody. I don't want to be responsible for taking my husband's life because I get it and then therefore he gets it and it takes him out. And I mean, the 250,000, that was just the last count that Jen knew about. It could have risen, but since then, it could be far worse. It could be in the 300,000s by now. I honestly don't know what the last tally was that everybody did that. Oh yeah, it's up to 300,000 now. It's like, oh great. How many more people have got to die before this shit finally says, okay, enough done. We're out of here. We're gone. Bye. Have a nice life. And then you die the next day. Like, what life? You mean that blink? You mean that flash in the pan? You mean that, oh shit, my whole life just flashed before my eyes and then suddenly it was gone and I'm dead? Um, I worry about my kids getting it. I worry about the people in my life that are the most vulnerable. And I'm exhausted from just trying to be there for people, trying to give us all something to do. As more and more of us start literally losing our minds because of the isolation, and people want to be out, they want to be visiting, they want to be going to the mall, they want to be going out to the bars, going out to the dance clubs on Friday night. But everywhere I look, it's like more and more places are closed. Fewer and fewer people are on the streets. I've never thought I would see the day that New York streets would be empty and devoid of people, but they are. They, had to put dead bodies in a truck and in body bags. And I mean, that's got to be stinking to high heaven. It's like, what did they do? Put it in a refrigerated, fucking truck or something so everybody won't die from the stench of all the dead bodies, because they just keep coming and keep coming, and people keep dropping like flies. And I don't want to be one of the flies, and I don't want anyone I love and care about to be either. I've seen, oh, excuse me, I've seen some crazy shit that people have been doing to try and get through this isolation. Because people are just, they've never been confined this seriously for this long. It's like putting a dog in a cage that it can barely move around in and watch it destroy the dog and slowly drive it mad. And you keep poking at it and prodding at it, and abusing it, just verbally, emotionally, mentally. People are finding decapitated dogs in rivers that just you could see them both crying. And I even started crying. I almost couldn't finish watching it because somebody had literally decapitated a dog, and they put the head in a metal box and threw it in this river. And these two people found it, and then they also had put the body in a bag, and it was underneath a storm drain kind of thing, or one of those big concrete pipes that comes out of the that a lot of sewage and stuff goes through. And you could tell the river was filthy. And all I will say is these people are two of the many residents. I don't know about one of them, but I do know for certain the other one is a Canadian. He's a Canadian native. He, and I don't know where the other one is. I'll have to comment the first one at the bottom of one of his videos and say, hey, does your dude have a channel? And then mention the name of the person I'm speaking of. And if there is, it's like, could you please direct me to which one of these links is the proper one that will take me to his channel so I can subscribe to it and hope that he does the same in return. So it'll be at least a way that some of them will be able to, see me, see what I look like, hear what I look like, be able to judge for themselves if I'm for real or if I'm just looking for a handout. And I can assure you I'm not. I have no problem working for my money. I have no problem doing readings for people on here. But there's so much competition out there. And how many other YouTubers are doing that very thing? Tarot readings. Ooh. But if I'm not going to get any takers, if there's never going to be more than one person at a time that ever comes on one of my live streams and actually stays for a significant amount of time. And yes, before everybody freaks out, you see that picture in the back there? It is my son. I've already shown this picture on other live streams, but that's my boy. And he's my oldest, and he is in Marion Correctional right now. And there was a guard recently on his block that tested positive for corona, and that's a little too close to home for me. Michael has already given that place 10 years of his life. Now, I don't want that to be the very place that ends up taking his life because he thinks that he's strong enough to make it, and then something goes wrong and he don't, and then my son's dead. How am I supposed to deal with that? How am I supposed to go on? How am I supposed to be positive about anything ever again if that happens? I wouldn't be able to. My daughter almost never talks to me or calls me or text messages me unless she really needs help with something or wants something, and it's actually something that's in the neighborhood of something I know what to do. I have the skill to do. I know she's trying. Excuse me. She's trying to live her life, and I don't want to deny her that because that's been denied her entire life, and she's only 23 years old. I just want my son home, and if I'm right, if this turns out to be the one time that I'm actually right, and everything goes kaput by the time 2024 gets here, that's 4 years, guys. 4 years. And I'm like, that's just scary. That's even more scary than the coronavirus that's going on, because if 2024 is it, then I don't know, maybe weirdly enough, maybe some of the blessings in disguise is the people that go now and go early, even though we don't want them to go early. It's better than dying from something like the coronavirus that our president paid somebody $1 million to create. And it worked. So I stick to my guns when I say there is no human in the White House. He is he is the Antichrist. And his evil knows no bounds. And people support him. People go to his rallies. They believe in him, and all he is a false prophet. He is a false prophet. Why would Jesus want to come back right now? I mean, the Antichrist is due his 1,000 years of reign before somebody finally gets lucky enough and stuffs his ass back in the cage. But it isn't the Antichrist that everybody thinks it is. It's the actual Antichrist, and he is all about killing, and he's all about him, and he's all about ego and money. He wants everybody to love, adore, cherish, worship, and appreciate him, and treat him like some god that he is not. He has no right killing all the innocent people that this thing is killing every day. And he's just gonna fucking get away with it because he thinks that he can pay off anybody. That everybody has a price, and they're gonna keep paying it because they justify that what he's doing is humane. Killing innocent babies in Donald Trump's book is humane. Last I checked, No, it's not. That's like right up there with fucking abortion. When I was pregnant with my oldest, Michael, picture I just showed you, I was young, I was dumb, I was full of false hope, and I was absolutely 100% convinced that Michael's father was the one for me and that I would not have to look anymore and my prince had finally come. Yeah, things were like that till we got to California where he showed his true colors, and in the end, I ended up breaking up with him and found out somewhere along the line on my way back home that I was 3 months pregnant with his child after he and I broke up. That child was Michael, and he is the only child between me and Gary, Michael's dad. I don't know whatever happened to Gary. I hope that he's happily married and he has a bunch of kids of his own and he's doing good. But I just wish that Michael would have had a chance to know his dad and to decide for himself if he wanted to be part of his dad's life and wanted his dad in his life. Um, when I found out I was pregnant, I was 3 months pregnant. I had gotten back from California. And I remember telling my mom on the phone, I said, "You're going to see something different about me when I get off the bus." And at the time, I didn't know what that meant. But I knew, it's like I knew a poo storm was coming, and I was standing in front of the biggest fan on the planet. So I was going to get it all right there, and probably drown from it because it would be so overwhelming that I wouldn't even be able to breathe. And it was right. Decided, okay, it's been about 3 months. Um, I'm going to go ahead and get the pregnancy test. I have to know. Did the pregnancy test, came out positive. I was 20 years old at the time. I had nowhere to go. I was happily at my mom's, living with my mom. My brother was there. He lived in the basement. I would go down there and party with him and his dudes as soon as I was old enough that mom would let me. Um, but Michael, I was so scared at first and did not want to bring a baby into a world that I could not provide well for him so that he would be able to live well and happily and be in a loving, good home that he would thrive and grow. Well, I would be lying if I said that my home was like that because it's always been completely the opposite. I come from a dysfunctional, broken home full of alcoholics and oversexed ancestors that have no problem having incestuous relationships with their own offspring. And I I went to an abortion clinic. I sat at the kitchen and I cried. I literally cried at the kitchen table. My mom was on one side of the table, Jim was on the other side, and they said nothing. They did nothing. They offered no words of comfort. They offered no advice. They offered no sympathy. They just went on about their day like I wasn't even there. And all I could think about was, oh my God, what have I done? I'm about to bring a kid into the world, and what am I going to be able to give them? What am I going to be able to provide? I'm such a messed up mess myself. How am I going to be any kind of a decent mother? How am I going to be any kind of a disciplinarian? Because my mom's idea of discipline to me was more abusive than it was not abusive. Like one time, I loved to roller skate. And I finally talked my mom into trusting me outside as long as I skated up and down our street and I didn't go past a certain point and I watched for cars and everything, which I did all that. And I was having a blast. It was summertime. It was a nice day out. We were living at 72 Stevens at the time. And then some other kids came around that I think they either had skates or they saw me skating and, they wanted to play with me. They wanted some little playmates for the day. So I was like, okay, no problem. And I wish I wouldn't have done it because I was just trying to make a new friend. because at the time I really didn't have any friends on that street, and I felt like alone and lonely and wanted some friends. And so I thought it was innocent enough to go one street over. Well, I was wrong. My mom found out what I had done from one of the neighborhood kids or neighbors that happened to see where I went. She came and found me and literally switched my legs the entire walk home. She switched my legs so badly that I think they actually started bleeding, or they were about to start bleeding. And that was abuse. To me, that was abuse. She went overboard, and that was also back in her drinking days that almost cost her her life, because she had to end up jumping out a 2-story window and landed on concrete to save her life, and it busted her hip. Shattered her hip ball. She couldn't move. She couldn't even try to get away. And thank God that some of the neighbors intervened. They heard the ruckus. They came out and said they called the cops, and then the two men split. They were going to kill my mom. They were going to kill my mom. I was 14 at the time. So anyway, when I found out I was pregnant, I almost went through, I was going to have an abortion. I was going to have Michael aborted, because I felt like it was unfair and it was selfish of me to believe for even a second that I could raise a kid in the world that food stamps and cash money only went so far, and what kind of place are you going to be able to rent in any kind of decent neighborhood and be able to survive and provide for your kid. I went to the doctor. The doctor did the examination, and I'm surprised he didn't do any damage. But I remember it hurt like hell what he did. He felt where the baby was. He felt how big the fetus was. He was able to determine that it was about 3 months along. And he said, yeah, no problem. We can do the abortion. And then he proceeds to tell me that he can only take half of it out now, and that I would have to walk around with half of a fetus in my body until he could set an appointment to get the other half out. I'm like, no. No, 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 no. I am not, okay, I'm not going to do that too. I was just hoping that he could give me a pill or something to start my period, and then I would have miscarried, or, I mean, it would have been a horrible thing, but I was just absolutely devastated. But at the same time, it's like something in me just said, don't do it. And it was probably Michael. I wouldn't be surprised. It was probably his spirit saying, don't do it, Mom. You'll see. It'll be okay. Go ahead and have me. Don't kill me. Don't do this. So I didn't do it. I didn't go through with it. Well, I was 8 months pregnant by this time. My mom and her husband, who was very much alive, he's been dead about, 8 or 9 years now. But back then he was very much alive, and him and Naomi walked in the door and proceeded to tell me that my dad was dead. That our dad was dead, and they were about to have the funeral, and Ron and Naomi had to leave right then and there to make it to the funeral, because it was clear in Pennsylvania somewhere, I think, is where he's buried. So I'm assuming that it was Pennsylvania where the funeral was. But because I was 8 months along pregnant, it was no longer safe for me to make the journey. So I stayed. I was not able to go to the funeral, and Ron and Naomi are literally the only people that showed up from either side of the family. I've never had the closure of going to my dad's grave and just pouring my heart out to him and telling him why I'm so angry at him and why I hate him so, so, so much. And then in the same breath, say, but I forgive you because I don't want this anymore. It's not going to change what you did. The damage is done, and I owe it to myself to go on from here and try to do better with my own life, so that I don't ever get in that kind of situation to where I end up costing myself my own life or somebody else their life. And I just feel like I don't have a friend in the world, that nobody understands me, nobody gets me, nobody will take a chance and get to know me. And, even if they just subscribed to my channel and it was like a half a dozen of them, I'd be happy. They could disguise themselves whatever way they wanted, whatever way they had the skills to, and then if it was one of the paranormals that I watched, I would be thrilled. But I don't know that I would ever be able to find out it was them, because they may want to remain anonymous, which I don't think is right, because it's like, you want my support. You want me to hit the like button and subscribe to yours, but you can't do the same to me. You can't show me some love. It's like I'm showing all this love to all y'all. Where's my love? You know, um, who is going to finally step up and say, you know what, Janet, I would love to meet you, and it won't cost you nothing. If you can get yourself here, we will meet at this place. Because, I get it. I have no problem meeting them at a public place somewhere where they live. If that's what makes them feel the most comfortable, then I'll do it without question. But I want to be able to at least have $250 in my pocket just in case, I have to get my own food, or I have to, because most likely I would end up driving it. I would drive to Canada. I would try to find out where this person was live streaming. I would get a hotel room somewhere as cheap as I could get it. I would probably be by myself. If I could get one of my friends to go with me, that would be great too. I still want to investigate Moonville Tunnel. But seeing the torture and torment that a lot of my paranormal investigates go through, do I really want to open myself up to that? Because I feel like it's the rabbit hole. If you decide to take a chance and willingly tumble down the rabbit hole, you may find something great. You may be able to help some spirits cross over that died a very violent death, because you can just simply convince them, why would they want to stay? What is left for them here? Why would they want to stay and torment others because their own lives were taken? When I go down, I have a feeling it's going to be me and Monita, but I'm hoping that however long the coronavirus has got everybody running scared and got places closed down, I am going to call Ravenwood Castle today and ask them, are you guys even open? Because you don't have essentials. You might have food, but not unless it's made, and then the person has to pay for it. They're not going to be able to get it with food stamps, you know. Um, Cash or nothing, cash or credit card or debit card or whatever. I feel like Ashley and Kayla have been calling to me up there, and they'd like to see me again. Me and Monita's gonna get one of the cabins. Excuse me, we're gonna get one of the cabins for $139 a night, and we're gonna be there for 2 nights. And get this, 2 nights cost $391. That's 1 full day and 1 full night, more or less. And then you have to be out by 11 the next day. Like, if we did it on a Friday and Saturday, we would have until Sunday at 11 o'clock to be out. Or we would have to agree to pay for another night, because those rooms and those cabins and everything, they get booked quick. Really, really quick. It is their on season right now. It's as soon as it hits May, I really wanted to go the end of this month, and I still might, if I can make some wise decisions and choices and be able to feel myself into the future far enough to ascertain, okay, I won't spend any of my money. I will take $250 into it, and I will tell Norma, that, hey, I'm sorry that some of your money got spent, but I put it on the one card that I was most afraid to put it on, because I was afraid of what might happen, and what I was afraid might happen did. So now this is my way of trying to pay that back as much as possible, and be able to come clean and say, look, it ended up, before I finally caught it and stopped it, $200 had been taken out. So I know that it's going to cost $391 for the 2 nights. And if I have to take, stick with my original plan or keep with my plan of, like this month was supposed to be the first month that I was going to put 100 towards it, which I had to end up spending 20 of it for gas the other day because we needed gas to get around. We try to go out as little as possible. When we do go out, we try to make the most of it because we know that it's probably going to be a while before we're going to want to do it again, simply because of all the restrictions that they're putting on people and the things they're making people do because they're trying to keep anyone else from dying from it. And I'm all for that, and I'm right there with them. I totally am on the same page. I get it. I'm going to start wearing my mask and keep praying and making, I have strong faith that the people I love and care about, living or dead, human or non, it's not going to affect them in some way that's going to hurt them or that's going to mess up their future chances of being able to reincarnate and come back in a different body and actually be some of the ancestors that I didn't get to meet because I was not born until 69. "2024, I think, is it's going to be, to me, it's going to be even scarier than this virus, and I just feel like 2024 is going to be the end. It's finally going to be the end. So even if the coronavirus stopped tomorrow, a lot of people are still going to die. A lot of people have probably already gone overboard to the point that they're building a bomb shelter right now as I speak. But how the hell do you even begin to keep yourself supplied and go underground and be under there possibly 10 years or more and not go insane or end up resorting to cannibalism because everyone's so much more afraid to go out and see if the environment is safe again, if the air is breathable, and that, okay, whoo, we made it, yay for the bomb shelter. But how the hell do you expect to stock that up if you have half a dozen people in there? I mean, what if some of those people have kids and they're scared and they're my family? So, of course, I'm going to invite them to come and live in the bomb shelter with me. But then how long before somebody snaps? Who's going to be the first to snap? And it's not like we can send them up to the surface or anything, because if we do, they'd probably die. So we would still be responsible for their death. I don't want to split my soul into a bunch of different pieces for every life that I take, that I'm responsible for taking. Which, it's not like I have killed anybody, because I haven't. But this coronavirus is so scary, excuse me, that how many people have committed suicide over it? I saw a guy jump out of a building recently, and I did not want to watch it. And I kept asking my friend Norma, I said, please, I said, I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that. And she did not comprehend that. She made me watch it anyway, and I just kept turning away. And I said, Monita, I don't want to see that, okay? I don't need the horrible reminder that person that just took their lives could have been somebody I knew. It could have been one of you. My kid is stuck in a place full of a shit ton of people. They've got commissary closed down. They're allowing 15-minute video visits, but who the hell is going to be able to have 15 minutes to? 15 minutes is not going to be enough. Considering they charge $9.90 for 30 minutes or $9.80 or whatever it is, and they're only given 15 minutes for free, and all these people are losing their jobs, so they can't pay their credit cards off, so they have no money that they can spend to get the video visits, and these people can't even have the decency to let them have the full 30-minute visit for free. I've been wanting and meaning to set up a 15-minute visit with my son, and I want to make sure and do it on a day at a time when Alicia can be here so that she can see him too, because we don't know how much longer this coronavirus is going to be kicking people in the keister and taking lives and taking names and being a big, big, big fucking lawnmower in a big, big, big field full of people, and it's just mowing us down left and right. And this is probably about the most messed up population control that I have ever witnessed in the 51 years I've been on this planet. And trying to be human, trying to be compassionate, trying to be there for others, exhausting myself in the process, draining my life energy, depleting my life force a little bit more each day because I care more about my fellow man and how many more are going to die by the time this live stream ends. And how long before it's going to be somebody that I know, and it's going to be a family member, and it's going to absolutely devastate me because I won't be able to do anything to stop it. I don't want my son to be that person. I don't want to be responsible for someone else's death, and I certainly don't want to be responsible for my own. I've played around with and thought of going back into my group and being active in Marco Polo again, but what's the point? Nobody's making any effort really to reach out to me, to keep in touch. I have invited people countless times, like last summer, as it got closer to Halloween, which to us witches and Wiccans is All Hallows Eve. And I got some really, really kick butt spells that I'm going to do this Halloween. And the thing is, I may have missed a couple of them because I couldn't get my brain to realize and register that okay, how am I, what are some ways that I can be creative and make money doing it? Well, I was hoping that YouTube would be one of those possible options, but I need at least 1,000 followers, and I just don't see that happening. I'm not out magnet fishing. I'm not out camping in a scary forest, traveling to a place just because it's close to home and I can drive there myself. Like, there's a governor's mansion on Broad Street that I don't know if the current governor is living in it. I don't know if the building has been donated to the Historical People Society or something, to where, like, however much they charge, and I'm going to go find out sometime just for shits and giggles, how much they would charge for somebody to come in there and do a paranormal investigation, and also ask them, has anybody ever yet? Because I would love to be the first person that did it and got approved to do it. There's also a abandoned, some type of army base related. It's like buildings they had, and it's Fort something. I can't think of the name of it, but it's on Cleveland Avenue. There's this haunted bar looking kind of place that I was able to bring up online. And the Moonville Tunnel is only 30 minutes away from Ravenwood Castle, and all the way back to the very first time I went to Ravenwood and spent even one night there, which was April 28th, 2018. I finally did, come clean about that with Chris and said, yeah, I did go, and I told you the story that I did because I was afraid you would try to talk me out of it, or you would give me the third degree about all the reasons why I'm not allowed to do something that was this important to me, because it takes 139 just to be there for a night. And I concocted a story that, I was going down to see a friend that lived in the area, and I was going to spend time with her kids. And, I wanted to be able to go peacefully with a clear conscience and not be filled with guilt because I kept lying to Chris about it. And it was bugging me every time I lied about it, because I just didn't believe that he was going to be supportive, because there's a lot of stuff that I don't feel he is supportive about, and I don't know how to get him to understand why it's so important to me and that I need his support more than maybe he can give. And I'm I'm not helping with the dishes, I'm not helping with the laundry, he's paying all the bills, I pay the rent, and I deal with his depression a lot. I never know when something's going to trigger him and he's going to go into a depressive episode, and then the depression turns into violent outbursts, and then I'm crying and scared and stuck and afraid to move, because I'm afraid if I move, he'll finally snap and end up hurting me or something. Um, or hurting himself again, or successfully killing himself a third time, and this time they can't bring him back. And I'm going to have to deal with that for the rest of my life and not take on the guilt that it was somehow my fault. That I didn't love him enough, that I didn't understand him, that I didn't recognize things that he did, that I didn't help enough, that I wasn't young enough, pretty enough, you know, a minimalist like him, antisocial, social anxiety, which I'm not saying is a fun thing to deal with, because I imagine it's not. I'm the opposite. I need my sociality. I can't handle too much isolation. It's making me too rigid. It's making things cold in the bedroom, because I just feel like I'm trapped in my own house, and every time I want to go somewhere, I'm going to get the third degree about it if I do. Even if I agree to wear my mask, and I agree that, hey, I know that this is scary and this big scary monster that's killing people, and but I'm concerned about my friends. And no, I didn't need the stuff that I went to get, but I wasn't paying for it, so I didn't see the harm in it, and I took the person that is paying for it, because they're not going to be here much longer. They're getting kicked out of the building, because the daughter and mother are always fighting, and they're always disrupting the building, and everybody in the building is tired of it. They slam doors, they yell and scream at the top of their lungs, they cut people down left and right. They're just obnoxious, and you can't get through to them. If you try to get through to them, it's like talking to a wall. I haven't done anything or even tried to contact Winding Road in a long time, because I'm just done trying. I've been reaching out and trying to keep in touch, but nobody answers me back, so what's the point? They obviously have better things to do, and my friendship is not more important to them than whatever else they're doing. I really thought I was going to get invited to join that coven on Yule of last year, and it didn't happen. And now I am in a situation that I'm trying to figure out the best course of action to take, because I don't want to lose probably the only friend that I truly ended up getting from that experience, because he's the only one that, honest to God, tries to keep in contact with me. And I will just call him JT. JT is with this guy that literally beat the Fugu Gai Pan out of him, if you know what I mean. Beat him black and blue, almost shattered one of his eye sockets. Just started beating the crap out of him, and this happened while I was having the time of my life and had to spend my croning alone. I couldn't have any friends with me. I couldn't have Chris there. We didn't want to leave the cats for that time, and I wanted that time for myself, because I really like it there. The staff is nice. They have a Pachu. What the fuck's a Pachu? They have a statue of Pan. See, there I go, trying to combine two words into one, and it don't work. There's a miniature maze around him, and I actually sat a chair in front of him, and I want to get that footage on here and post it up to YouTube so bad. It's not even funny, including the what it looked like inside the cabin that I got to stay in, which was absolutely stunning to me. And I felt like I was some rich person that literally had just bought this whole place just to have that cabin. It's got a creek running through it. It's got a fire pit. There's 5 cabins all together down there in that area. It's called the Huntsman's Hollow, and it's great. People have gotten married there. People have had birthdays, anniversaries, you name it, bar mitzvahs. The place is just, it's literally in the middle of the woods, and it's on a hill. And the place is, to me, it's just stunning. It's probably the closest to an actual castle that I will ever get to see. The village is on the outside and to the left. So like if you're standing in front and looking at the front of the building, the main building, you look off to your right and you'll see the cottages. There's a little walkway you can go down, so you can literally go to its end, and the last cottage you will see is the Silversmith cottage, which is all pink on the outside, which is nice for us that like to be girly like me. It's got to be pink. And it's a fun place. They have this giant chessboard that you can play with a friend that I'm literally, guys, I'm talking the pieces are like, huge. Just like, I can't describe it. If I could get the footage on here, and even if I could get the still shots on here and figure out how to do all that myself without Chris's help, because I just don't think it's something he wants to be bothered with. I asked him to try and teach me how to edit, and he won't even do that. He can't even do that because he's got his own things that he's stressing about. Jen, bless her, she bought him a 6-pack of beer tonight. Actually, I did. I paid for it with my money. That was supposed to be for groceries, so that he could have a release, a stress release of his own that could help him to calm down and play his video games and just have a quiet night to himself while I was downstairs having my sociality and have the room down there to fit. Probably, realistically, I could fit 6 to 10 people down there comfortably. Because I'm not just talking, 6 to 10 in one room, yeah, that would be a little crowded. But the room I'm speaking of, which is also some video footage I would love to get on here so you guys could actually see what my basement looks like. If you do it right and you set the chairs far enough apart, do the whole 6 foot apart thing, make sure everybody's wearing masks, whatever people have to do to feel the most comforted, that they're taking every precaution that we can possibly take to keep somebody from getting it, that it could be fatal to, and it could kill easily. But there's a room next to it. There's a room that you have to walk through to get to the other room. In the room that I could fit comfortably 6 people, because there's been 5 of us down there and we did fine, but yeah, we could probably cram one more person in there, no problem. Unfortunately, we can't get anybody else to come down. Our neighbor across the hall never comes down. Christine never comes down. I've only spoken to her maybe once or twice in the hallway in passing. Found out that very possibly she's a witch. And I said, we ought to get together. And she just doesn't, she never comes and knocks on the door. She never makes any attempt. It's like she just wants to be left alone. So me being who I am, I can put myself in her place. And I can think to myself, if I was in that situation, what would I do? If somebody made a valiant, sincere effort to be my friend and to get together so we could get to know each other and just see if we could even have the potential to be friends. If not, fine. I would have just let things comfortably go back to just not speaking to her at all. I don't have anything against her. She said that her mother could predict the future. So I figured that at least she's amongst the open-minded about witchcraft and Wicca. And I am eclectic. I'm no longer just Wicca. I went with Wicca for many years because it was safe for me. I wasn't about to touch anything related to the dark with a 10-foot pole, okay? Cattle prod, even, yeah. So, but I have evolved and I have become comfortable and know the necessity of you can't have one without the other. You have to know the dark before you can truly appreciate the light. You have to know the light before you can truly appreciate the dark. Just because something's dark doesn't mean it's evil. Dark sometimes is just neutral territory that each individual can shape and mold to their liking. Me personally, I would love to have my own Xanadu club. One, I would have to rename the club. I wouldn't be able to name it Xanadu because that would be copyright infringement and I'm not going to jail for it. If I could meet Olivia Newton-John, she might be able to help me come up with an idea of something that I could have that would be similar to it, but not, similar enough that people could say, oh, yeah, I could see where there's a little bit of Xanadu here and there, but it has Janelle's own personal flair. That's my... Sorry, chapped lips. Janelle is a derivative of my name, Janet, which the root name for Janet is John, as in John the Baptist. I would not be a bit surprised if somehow I was to suddenly find out one day that I am a direct descendant of him in some fashion. Go higher. So one of the names that is also a derivative and another spelling of Janelle is Jonell. I switched to Janell because my regular name and its spelling, first name, is Janet, the typical Janet. There's a lot of Janets in the world. I don't have anything against them. I'm not saying it's a bad name. It's just not. I like Janelle better. This to me is Janelle. This is, you know what? I may be 51 years old and I may have not even been born until the tail end of the hippie phase, and I never got to go to Woodstock. Dang it. Still mad about that. I know that I can't possibly make friends with every single person that I meet and expect them to fall in love with me and just be like, I just can't live without her, stalk me or any crazy shit like that. I've always, one of my greatest fears, believe it or not, folks, has always been celebritydom. Because I'm so afraid that it would be my undoing somehow. And I don't know how much of it I would be able to handle before I would be like disguising myself every chance I went out. I would learn how to do like master, mistress of disguise. I've got a bunch of different wigs. I could throw together a bunch of different looks. I could have no problem being a different personality. Hollywood is missing out. I really would love to be given a part in a movie that just to see if I could do it. Just to see what it's truly like and what it truly means to be a celebrity. I can tell you that I'm a rainbow goth. I try to, in my own way, flair and whatever. I've got multicolored hair. I'm a hippie chick. I have no problem wearing tie-dye shirts. And, I want to get me a nice, cute little hippie outfit, get the go-go boots, get the mini skirt. Actually, I probably wouldn't do mini skirt. I would wear my skirt down to my knees or like just above the knee, which I have to agree with Chris when he said that would look best on me. That would be, mini skirt is just not right for somebody with my body weight and my body structure. I'm not one of those tiny little Barbie doll figures, okay? I'm over 200 pounds, and I know that that's not healthy, and I want to change it. I'm trying to change it. I'm trying to be more active. I'm trying to do more. But this coronavirus is just, killing too many options of things that we used to be able to go out and do, like go to the mall or go to a park for a day and just be able to just enjoy watching people with their families and having a good day. And really having a special moment together, a special celebration, a birthday or whatever, bar mitzvah. I'm an ethereal, I'm a celestial, and I don't know if any of you out there know what that means. I just found it out myself. And even though he hasn't said anything, I just feel like Chris thinks that it's just a bunch of hooey. So once again, I'm not getting the support, and I'm probably never going to, because he is just becoming more and more socially intolerant. If there's a bunch of us sitting out back, he can tolerate that probably the best, but not once has he ever come downstairs to talk in social circle. Social circle, I try to make an open avenue that if somebody wants to do a Bible study because their church is closed and they can't do their Sunday Bible study, somebody grab one of their Bibles, come downstairs. If they want to read a passage from the Bible themselves, go for it. I'm not going to go, shh, 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 get away from me. No, because I'm okay. I feel comfortable in my religion. My faith is strong, and I would love to see that with others. And I am glad that there's many out there that probably are trying to be strong for everyone like me, and taking chances. Live a little, as Mo Sargi would say. Taking a chance, showing my faith and my trust in my friends that we believe strongly enough that we can be in the same room together and not wear masks, and none of us is going to get it. How do you support, believe in, and follow and worship and adore and cherish and appreciate a demon like Trump, which is the worst possible person to be running the country? And when a good one comes along that maybe could do some good, like I think Obama tried to do, and look how many people are against him. He's a Leo, you know. His wife's a Capricorn. It's not the easiest of relationships, but they obviously are meant to be together because they find ways to make it work. Love Michelle, would love to meet her. What's it like, you know, to be in a bubble like they were for however many terms Obama was here and was the president? Hillary Clinton, Obama tried to help get her in. And Donald just bought the election, or, you know, yeah, he bought the election, and look how many people are stupidly and blindly following him, misplacing their faith in a false god, because that's what he is, guys. He's a false god that is ego-driven, only thinks about himself, wants money, 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 and more money, gets off on Russian hookers peeing on him in a bathtub. I mean, how sick do you get, okay? Walking in on young women when they're dressing for a pageant because he felt like he had the authority and right to do so, and he did not. He was violating their privacy. And I guarantee you, when he walked in there, just the way he talked about it, all these beautiful women with all these gorgeous bodies, and I guarantee you he had a heart on the whole time. And I'm not saying that to be funny, because I don't mean it in a funny way. I mean it in the way that it is an insult to those young women that have probably been traumatized for life now and may never trust a man again, so that their soulmate could walk up right now to them and propose to them, and they'd turn them away because they would never be able to get free of what Donald Trump did. That's why I don't call him Donald Trump, because in my opinion, there's nothing human about him. He has no compassion. He has no consideration for others. He created a virus that is steadily wiping out people every day. He is a racist piece of shit that should be impeached, drawn and quartered, set on fire, and then doused with holy water. And then, if there was any remains left, bury it in a sacred holy box in a field of salt. Because Donald did what he did, I think he should die by the coronavirus. And when he does, it will stop. And I cannot think of a better karma for him, karmic consequence, because of all the innocent lives that he is responsible for taking every day, that the death toll rises because corona is still killing. I think he is a KKK. I don't like him. He is Demon Trump, not Donald Trump, because there is no compassion in him. He has no heart. He is cruel, heartless, and soulless. How many more are going to have to die before it ends? How many more vengeful spirits is he going to keep creating by killing the innocents that he is? Because he wants everybody to worship him and adore him and put him on a pedestal and give him his crown and scepter and robes and say, "Yes, your majesty, whatever you say, your majesty. Shall I cut my wrists today, your majesty, and bleed out in front of you to please you, your majesty?" That's what he wants. He wants to take everybody's life blood and bathe in it. I refuse to live in a world run by a demon like him. So I will retreat into my own rabbit hole and my own world and create it as I go. And hope that somewhere along the way I can guide some people in a positive way and make them choose a better path for themselves. And all I'm asking in return is recognition and genuine thanks. The scene at the end of Chamber of Secrets when everybody's applauding Hagrid and crying, that's the kind of recognition I think I deserve that I don't think I'm ever going to get because of the sacrifices I make every day that people don't even know about. Where do we go from here? How can I have good content when I just feel like I'm a dead horse and I'm constantly being kicked? I haven't done excuse me, I haven't done the spirit box all day. I'm very disappointed in my necrophonic app now because it never answers any of my questions. So I believe that it's a bogus um, ghost box, spirit box. And the one that I can bring up on my phone, at least it seems genuine and it does try to answer. But because it has a limited vocabulary, a limited amount of words that it's allowed to use to try and talk and explain how it feels and what it needs, and hey Moochie, I need my own place, and I just don't think that Krista's ever going to understand why. And I'm just never going to hear the last of it. how stupid it is for me to live two different places and only spend part of my time here with him and then the other part of my time at my own place. So I don't have to worry about saving back a bunch of money just so I can have 2 nights at a place like Ravenwood Castle because it's the closest thing to a vacation I'm ever going to probably have. I'm on a fixed income like so many. I only get $783 a month to live on, and when 465 of that is taken away for rent, and the few personal bills that I pay, like my YouTube, which I was thinking about getting my YouTube premium back, but I thought, you know what? I'm not even going to worry about it right now because I'm not going to be able to benefit from all the perks that comes with the YouTube premium because I don't know enough about how to work it yet. I can't even. I'm just gonna have to take one of these sometime. That it's like, yeah, I said a lot of stuff in there. I just want to experiment and see if I can figure out how to edit myself because Chris can't even do that for me. I thought it would be something fun that we could do together that he could show me how to do and I could try to follow along visually and do it and maybe have some of that awesome beginner's luck and with Yeffy's help be able to go, oh yeah, I know exactly how to do it now. Thank you. I can take it from here. But yet he wants me, he and I to go out and take pictures at a park with our cameras because we're finally getting some warm weather and we miss being able to do that. And as long as you do the social distancing and you have your masks and your gloves if you can get them, which my friend Norma keeps saying that she's got some gloves and she'll gladly give some up for me, but I would just assume use my own for now. Just get my own box of them because she keeps forgetting to give them to me and I don't want to keep asking her for them. She works during the week, Monday through Friday. She works for a boss that is always thinking between her legs and wants somebody to eat her taco all the time. And she messes with a married man. She flirts with him openly. And I don't know. It's like, I don't know if they think they're getting away with it or if they enjoy the thrill of other people knowing that they're doing it and how long they can continue to do it before the wife finds out and comes ready to kick Miss Carolyn's ass because she's moving in on her man. And he's not exactly turning her away. He's like, "Come on, baby, you wanna sneak back here? There's a nice quiet spot, and we can boff each other stupid." I have no problem cheating on my wife. I have no problem destroying my home because I can't stop thinking between my legs either. And I want somebody to eat my hot dog all the time. And this is what I mean when I say that we're in HE double toothpicks. This is not the happy place. This is not the world that I envisioned I was going to be able to come into and hopefully make a significant difference. And I just feel like I haven't done enough. And I really want to go far with my channel. I have no support whatsoever. If I was to discuss any of my YouTube videos and try to get any of my family to sign up, they probably wouldn't. Because my brother lacks the patience to even get on the internet long enough to watch a live stream. He's just thinking between his legs right now too, and he just wants some nookie, and he don't care who's willing to give it to him as long as he gets it. Because he is one of those that has no problem thinking and joking about it and funny ha ha when they say sex is like air. It's not important until you're not getting any. And I can't keep pretending to be okay with something I'm not. And I am not okay with this constant communication barrier that has been between me and Chris for 12 years now, and I'm tired of beating my head up against the wall trying to get through it. And if he feels the same way, then why are we together? Because that's not love. That's taking out on each other what our past has done to us and the not so great upbringing we both had. I was lucky up to about my teens, and I am so sorry for those of you out there that didn't have such luck and have maybe even already lost parents from stupid decisions and unwise choices. I am trying to be a shining light in a world full of darkness and desolation and destitution, and I can't even stand to be in the basement with lights out because it's like the atmosphere instantly changes to not so friendly anymore. They don't like the light. And to me, that's how you can always tell when there's a dark one lurking about, because they don't like the light. And they will come through the spirit box and say light. And they'll be like, out, turn light out. Or they will manipulate the device and they'll literally turn it out themselves. Because it's a low energy thing. They can do it fairly easily. But when you're going in through an abandoned place and it's 3 a.m. and you're saying, if there's any spirits here, could you make a noise to let us know you're here? Do a knock, bang on something, slam a door. And when the spirit does what is requested of it, they're like, okay, did that really happen? Was that you? Could you do it again? And then they do it again. And then they keep asking, if it's you, then do this, or if it's you, do this, or prove this. And as a spirit, yeah, I would, after the third or fourth time, I'd be like, look, if you really want to prove that there is life after death, here I am. But if you're going to be so full of fear that you can't even walk in there and just talk to me like I was still a real person and I was human and I had a heart and I had compassion and I had rationale and I could sit down and have an intelligent conversation with you and realize that, you're just trying to help. You're just trying to help. I hope that Andrew gets his 4,000 likes so that he will willingly show the next video of the demon quarantine that he's going through right now, about this demon that is just HE double toothpicks bent on killing his family. And it wants to hurt him too. It wants to kill him. And I can't even begin to comprehend the type of fear and trauma that he must suffer because of it. And Mo Sargi said he can hardly sleep anymore because he always has nightmares. Well, yeah, because he keeps provoking these spirits, pissing them off, and then when his life suddenly goes to HE double toothpicks, he has no one to blame but himself. Because he's messing with forces he shouldn't be messing with. He treats with disrespect and rudeness. So guess what? It's just going to make the violent ones more violent. And what's it going to take? Somebody's arm getting broke, somebody getting shoved down the steps. One of his boys, one of his friends almost got killed by, I don't know who the people were that did it, but they almost killed him. They barely found him in time. They were doing an investigation. They heard him scream. And then he was just suddenly gone. And they thought for sure they was going to find his dead body somewhere. So they started looking with heavy hearts, and they were given clues as to where his body was, and they barely made it there in time. They had him tied to a chair in like a basement freaking, hole in the wall you would have to crawl through or something, let alone drag a body through there. And he was tied to a chair with some kind of wire, and he had blood coming out of his nose and mouth. and it was dried, and he was there unconscious, and he was like barely sitting up in the chair. He could not even comprehend that he was still alive. He literally thought he was dead. He thought, this is it. I'm done. They're not going to find me in time. I'm dead. I'm gone. And now it's going to hurt my friends that just wanted to try and keep me safe while we did this live stream, because that's how dangerous these places can be. And that's why I'm second guessing if I even want to do it at all. Because hotels can be expensive, traveling expenses are going to be outrageous because the cost of living just about everywhere you go anymore is ridiculous. And you can't do it on a $250 a month budget. At least I can't, and I've been trying for many years. And it's taken this long to get up to $783, and my mom's already getting $900. So she's $200 ahead of me easy. She is amongst the most vulnerable of getting the coronavirus because she's 88 years old. She doesn't sleep right. She doesn't eat right. She eats like a bird. She is on the defensive all the time. She's in a pissy mood more than she's in a good mood. She gets mad at me and angry, and, oh, you finally remembered where I lived, huh? You finally remembered that I was still alive, huh? So, in other words, what the fudge took you so long? Where have you been? Like, I owe her something. Like, it is my job to entertain her and wait on her hand and foot and clean her house. And, yeah, I'll do certain things for my mom. Sometimes she pays me, sometimes she don't. And I'm not looking forward to the next time I go over there, because I'm going to have to confront her about the candles and ask that she give them to me, because Pat Black wanted me to have them, but I want to be able to have had a conversation with Pat Black on the phone and have her verify, yeah, that's exactly what I said. I'm sorry that your mom took them, and yeah, just tell her that, yeah, you meant those for me. And if I run across any more and your mom wants those, then let me know, and then she can have those, because candles are a commodity I could really use right now, because it's something that costs money, and I don't want to have to be going out 2 or 3 times a week just to get candles, because I'm burning through so many of them, trying to have a nice candlelit circle downstairs, kind of, make the ambiance of Woosah, Oozrava. Let there be peace here. Let there be quiet. Let there be love abounding. Let there be harmony. Let there be joy. Let there be giggles galore. I really should have written that down, because that was beautiful, and I don't want somebody to steal it from me, because I want to be noted for the first person to say it. Hi, Moochie. Say hi. Yeah, you can crawl across me. The other kitties do. This is Moochie, our pretty black kitty cat. Blessed gift from Bast. Green eyes, solid black, declawed in the front. And Carmela and Kalika, they have bad habit of being mean to her still, and bullying her and trapping her in the cat box and won't let her out. And that's another thing that I need to figure out, or I need to concoct my own spell to help them get along and help them be able to live in harmony with each other, because I don't want to be spending my time yelling at my other 2 cats because they're being bitchs to Moochie that doesn't deserve it, because she's done nothing to them. Her human died. She was cast out. She had nowhere to go. Felt like nobody cared. She was so skinny that she was almost skin and bones. She was borderline skin and bones. She was absolutely terrified of everybody. She wouldn't leave the back porch of the very place that was her torment for the longest time, however long that was. She was at least on the street for a couple months before we got her, because I think Chris said he ended up bringing her in sometime before Halloween. She's healthier now. She's happier. You can see those beautiful green eyes, and her fur is just so silky soft, and She knows that she's loved and that she's wanted here. But the two main people or people like that live here, Carmela and Kalika, they feel like she's an invader. She's invading their space, she's invading their turf, their territory, and they don't want her here. Every time me and Chris have to go somewhere and we have to be gone for any length of time, I regret it because I think about Moochie the entire time. And I always ask them, can you please leave Moochie alone while we're gone? We will be gone as shortly as possible for as short amount of time as possible. But because of the protocol that you must follow right now with places like Walmart, if you want to get in the store to get anything, if you don't follow protocol, you won't be allowed in. So make your trips as few as possible and try to make the most of each trip so that you don't have to take one again anytime soon. So, like after their experience yesterday, the next time Faith or Jen says that they want to go over there again, I might just turn around and tell them, no, I'm sorry, I can't do it. Because I don't want to be denied a time of going over there when I might really need it because I need to get me some underwear or I need to get me some more socks or I need to get me some more, finally find some type of girdle that can kind of flatten my stomach, but not in such a way that it's actually doing more damage than good. Excuse me, I stopped watching Ewu Crew because I was just so bummed when they had to stop doing their live streams because they just kept getting people that were stalking them. They kept getting trolls coming into their videos and their live streams and sick-minded people lying about a house and saying it was haunted or there was something about it that they should come and check it out. And the only reason why the guy did it is he wanted to basically probably do something sick and disgusting like jack off while he was watching them in the house. Especially the daughter because she's a little haughty and a lot of sick fudgers out there like this guy was probably fantasizing about doing something to her, and that puts her in danger, that puts her at risk, that compromises her safety, and she doesn't deserve that. So I stopped watching them when they didn't do live streams anymore because that was something special that me and Chris did together that we really enjoyed. And now all we have is bed bugs and sorrow because so much is demanded of my time. And I love so deeply. And I'm deeply sensitive. And believe me, guys, it's no picnic. I just need to go quiet for a few minutes. Rest and recharge. Because my battery's running low. It's after 3 a.m. And I should probably close this out and get my butt to bed. Because tomorrow is another day. Well, later today when the sun comes up and the day's getting on with itself. Give some of you a chance to come through and maybe speak to me telepathically, and I'll try to get as much of the conversation on YouTube and on my digital recorder sitting next to me that I can. Plus, I'm trying to keep it down because I don't want my constant chitter chatter to be keeping Chris awake. I know, baby. You're wanting your sniffy, aren't you? You want your sniffy? Mommy hasn't done that for you for a while. Here you go. There you go. Have you some sniffy. It's pretty chilly out, though, so I don't know how long Mommy will be able to leave that open before it starts getting uncomfortable to me. Well, on a good note, I mean, don't get me wrong, I love my friend, love her to pieces, but I'm glad Monita is going to work today because seeing her 2 days in a row and then spending time with Paulette 2 days in a row, um, sitting outside like the other day when it was real pretty out, it was like summer, and then we had to make a run to T to see my friend T because he's got a couple kids and I'm worried about him and the coronavirus. So I wanted to stop in and physically see that he was okay. Because I mean, he's only 26 years old and he's struggling right now to bring in money and find ways to bring in money because he's trying to keep his kids in school. And of course, the schools are closed now. So that probably possibly means that he has to homeschool them, which is going to require some kind of laptop or something. And I don't know what kind of income he has. I don't know what his source of income is. And I don't know much about his kids, but I still, I can tell that he seems, for the most part, he seems like a really decent guy. And he's just struggling like so many of us. He's trying to do the right thing. He's trying to be a good dad to his kids. And I commend him for it because I don't know about the girlfriend. I don't know about the mother of his children, what that situation is, if she just stays at home while he goes out and probably does odd jobs and stuff because he looked like he had some computer experience because he looks kind of geeky, and I mean that in a respectful way. I don't mean that in a bad way. I'm not insulting or cutting it down because I'm a geek myself. I'm a geek, I'm a nerd. I'm a hot mess. And I'm looking for my soulmate hot mess out there to come and rescue me and take me out of here because I'm tired of being an HE double toothpicks. This area is bad. People have died violently outside these walls, and I don't feel safe here anymore. So I've got to make something happen, or I've got to at least try. And so far, everything I've tried has backfired on me. And I get the third degree from Chris because I don't do enough research on these things before I start doing them to see if other people have complaints about them, which is definitely a sensible thing to do. But I'm not him. I'm not him. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I think it's a very smart thing to do. But just like when I decided to get my tablet, at first he basically made it seem like, well, you'll get the one that I choose for you because I know what's best. So it doesn't matter if you wanted a certain one, then, just let me have control and let me get what I think is best for you. I'm like, no, this is my money. This is my reward to myself. I have wanted a tablet ever since I saw one that day in the mall with Della, and we were in the Barnes and Noble there, and they had a bunch of them on a display table, and I think they were like, some of them were like well over $100 and stuff. I got mine for like 50 something, and I want to get one of those stands that you can get that you can set it up on. That is like a giant pillow. It's like a little pillow thing, a pillow shelf, so that you can set it up. Because I like to play. I like to play Celtic music, and one of the ways that I can do that, I mean, I can try it, and if this video gets yanked, well, then I'll know that apparently I'm not allowed to do it because I hope they don't yank my channel, but if they do, I have another one. So at least I could go and try to start building that one up. Okay, who was I talking to? Ask him when we come over. Okay, hey, I am coming over tomorrow early afternoon to get money for phone bill for you so Chris can pay it for you here or Jim's computer maybe. I will ask him when we come over. Now, I asked Chris if he wanted to go do that, okay? But I also let him know that if he didn't want to do it, that's fine. It's not mandatory. I would just do it myself. But I wanted to at least include him if I could. Okay, let me see if I can do this. I don't know if it'll let me because I haven't like asked permission yet or anything to use what I'm about to try and use and see if it'll let me. And if they like decide, hopefully they'll go easy on me. If they do find it and they decide they don't like it, they'll let me know. Hopefully they'll let me know and give me the chance to either do it or not do it. Fucking bugs. Okay, I'm gonna have to hit this button because I'm gonna have to search for the item I'm looking for. I don't want to have it up too loud either. Let's see if it's gonna let me. See if YouTube will let me do this without me getting in trouble. And I hope this isn't too loud. I gotta wait and see. Find a relaxing space. Enjoy this meditation.
Secore Vesa Anet Guzion. Secore Vesa Anet Guzion. Secore Vesa Anet Guzion. Secore Vesa.
I have to keep it down low. So I don't know if you can hear it, but it is a Guzion N chanting. And the words are Secore Vesa Anet Guzion. These are the very words that Brooke herself used to summon him time and time again to her domicile in Jacksonville, Florida. And I hope to be blessed with the honor of meeting her one day before the world is end. Before it is just not here anymore. My friend today, one of my friends actually helped me actually asked me to help them get into a drug rehab program because all this isolation and all this corona stuff is driving people to drink. It's making people fall off the bandwagon that they have struggled for 12 years to not drink and now they're drinking again. This is empty, so I'm sorry to do this to everybody, but I'm gonna have to get up for a minute to get me something to drink. Ow, 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 ow. Let me turn that off. There's no point in that being on. Ration was on. Suppose I could do tea. probably be my undoing. This stuff probably Okay, I'm back for a minute or few. I don't know how well you're hearing this. But that's the chant that I'm doing. It's only like 17 minutes, 31 seconds. I don't know where to go from here, you know. I've got so many projects that I just can't. I need to prioritize. I need to schedule. I need to start putting aside, study time for myself and find a place that I can do that isn't closed down. Because I don't think doing it down in the basement is going to work too well unless I go down there quietly and only take my briefcase and don't tell anyone I'm going down there, and then close the door and just put a note on there and just say meditating, do not disturb, or studying, do not disturb. And like if Jen comes down there or something and she sees that the door's unlocked, she'll probably figure that I'm down there. I feel really bad that I haven't been able to. I need to get some fresher offerings downstairs for Guzion. I just didn't have the energy and strength to set out the altars this time. And I'm about to try an experiment here I hope doesn't cost me an oil burner. But I got these cubes. Let me get it and show you what I'm talking about. And yes, I'm putting my hat back on because it's kind of in the way. They're these cubes, and they have a scent. This one is called Magic Spell. I happened to glance up and see it because I've been wanting to get some of these, and I've been experimenting and playing around with. I usually use a tea light, and it's like I barely smell it unless I'm right on top of it. So I'm trying to just play around with it a little bit, see how much I can get away with realistically before this thing is like, okay, you can't put any more in there because then it's going to be too much and it's going to overflow. And then this idea is either going to flop and, oh, I wish you guys could smell this. It smells really good. It's like, that's the back of it. This is the front. You only get 6 squares. Oh, but it just smells so good. And, I'm really big into aromatherapy. My sister had some of these the few times that I was able to stomach actually being over in her place. So forgive me if I seem to go quiet at odd times, because it's simply because I'm trying to keep an ear out. And if I'm talking too much, then one, it's not going to give the other spirits a chance to talk if they want to say something. I don't have an EMF meter yet. I can't listen to my Guzion chant and have the spirit box on at the same time. So I will just take this time to say thank you to the 5 sponsors that I do have, the 5 subs that I do have. And I think I pretty much figured out at least 4 of the 5, but there's still a mystery one. I don't know who it is. And I wish I could know. I wish I could find out so that I could thank them. Even if it's just commenting on their channel or something and say, hey, thanks for checking out my video. And just, I hope that you'll come and see others in the future, because right now this is all I can do. I'm just one more vlogger. Usually don't have anybody doing this with me. I do it myself. If Norma happens to be up here, she's one of those, she don't like her picture taken. She's Puerto Rican and she has suffered a stroke, so it recalibrated her brain in such a manner that she talks differently, she acts differently, she can't say some words clearly because they just won't come out the way they should. But she's a good lady, good friend. What's that? I thought I just heard a noise. I wanted to make sure it wasn't this thing cracking. Because if it sounds like it's cracking, I'm going to have to blow the candle out. Let me show you the size. I have been using tea lights up till now. And these are votives. And to me, they're probably equivalent of maybe 2 or 3 tea lights stacked on top of each other. Well, this candle, this oil burner thing, this wax burner I bought the other day, it's a big black one. Which I would love to show it to you, but it's probably already heating up to where it wouldn't be safe to handle, especially up here. Okay, I'll try to be quick. Okay, see how big it is? Now you can imagine that it's equally large opening in the back. The tea lights just don't seem to let off the scent as strong as I would like, because it's sitting here just a couple feet away from me, if that. But I have to also be careful because 1, I don't want to break the oil burner. 2, I don't know if it's going to be able to handle this votive or if it's going to be too big for it. But I don't want to go through a bunch of my tea lights prematurely either, because I don't have a whole lot of candles. So every candle I do have, I'm trying to make it stretch. Let me put this up here so maybe you can hear it a little bit. And I can at least look at it. I have 3 chants that I usually listen to. And they're from the same person. Let me listen to this a minute. Please be able to handle this candle. Please let this candle be the right size. And let it not break. Okay, that's my tea water going off. So I gotta go get my tea. Be right back. Don't want to do any more Kool-Aid. I don't want to do flavored water. Now is time for these are hot tea nights, you know, when it's cold outside and you want to curl up to a good book or something, you know, and just enjoy the day. I think this one's almost over. Oh, excuse me. It's still got a few minutes yet. So I'm probably going to let that steep. Let's see. Am I still recording? Looks like it. Let's see. Yep, it's still recording. I've been trying to work more individually with Jafar, my genie, my male jinn. Drop dead gorgeous, long dark hair, dark eyes, gold skin, ripping body. Every woman's dream, you know. And right now, I mean, I would love to just even get a shoulder and neck massage from him, and I'd be totally happy. But that's easier said than done because Chris can't do any kind of massages because he doesn't know his own strength, and he ends up hurting me. And I know that he don't mean to. Let me see if I can get this other one up to come up here in a minute. Yeah, that's good enough. Okay, let's see. Could go this way. And then no. Nope. Wait. What's this? Hecate. Let's see. Huh, that's interesting. Kind of like that. Okay. No, I was looking for. What the heck one was it? I think this one, because yep, that's the 17 minutes 29. Yep. 17 minutes 29 seconds. Now this one, not a lot of people are going to understand. But those of us out there that do, cool. Blessed be. It took me a long time to get comfortable to even do something like this.
Tassa, Remi, Laris, Satan, Ave Satanas.
Tassa, Remi, Laris, Satan, Ave Satanas.
Ave Satanas.
You figure it out.
Tassa, Remi, Laris, Satan, Ave.
So while you're all
Satanas.
listening to that, and I'm hoping that
Remi, Laris, Satan, Ave Satanas.
that I'm right, and this votive candle is going to be able to handle.
Laris, Satan,
Oh,
Ave.
oh yeah, that's much better. That's much better.
Remi, Laris,
This is the same voice, and I would love to meet this lady
Satanas.
because I just feel like
Tassa,
we would be able to like bounce off of each other. Like I could share some of my skills and experience and abilities, and her and I could maybe possibly hit it off and be friends or something, you know. I'm living in a household where I feel guilty when I want to do a live stream at 3:30 in the morning because, yeah, I'm dead tired, and I could just as easily go in there and lay down and go to sleep. But I'm so behind in things that I have wanted to accomplish and achieve in my life by now that I haven't because I don't get out enough. I'm not active enough. I keep, I struggle with weight loss. I struggle with finding something, a safe, natural way to do it. And I do a Hecate chant after this. And again, it's the same voice. I like this woman's voice. It's very soothing. It doesn't sound dangerous or demonic or anything, just pleasant. And I like the softness of her voice. And it's a softness that I can admire because I feel like I have a certain softness about me that I call myself crack without the drug because I love so unconditionally and so deeply mankind. I try to love mankind the way Jesus did. I make many sacrifices every day. A lot of us do. And sometimes it's nice to get recognition for those sacrifices. And I have, don't get me wrong. I have definitely gotten some of the perks of the job of what I do. But it took me 51 years to finally evolve to a point where I can do a chant to Satan and not freak out and, oh my God, I'm going to be possessed and there's going to be demons running all through me. No. I don't want to live in fear anymore. And in order to understand the dark side, you have to be willing to know it. You have to be daring to be willing to walk through the door and learn about the dark. I am absolutely terrified in pitch black darkness. I don't like it. I've had dreams. I've had nightmares that all I could tell you was there was something dark in the darkness about to get me, and it was terrifying. Like, I felt like it was some demon that was trying to be I don't know, about to grab a hold of me. So I made myself wake up because I didn't want to be there. It was a bad place. I didn't like the way I felt. I was in pitch blackness and I felt something bad coming for me. When I did the True Love Come to Me spell 12 years ago, and lo and behold, it brought me Christ, but it has been an uphill battle ever since, and I'm just tired. Christ feels like he's the one primarily running the household. I don't help with laundry anymore. I don't help with dishes. I try, but it's just not enough. Because I have fibromyalgia, I'm in pain all the time. I don't want to hurt anybody. I don't want to ruin anybody's day. I'm not here to break up homes or marriages or anything. I'm just one more person trying to reach out to others that nobody else is trying. And if there is only 4 years left, I would rather live those years knowing that I did my best. And I just hope I die peacefully in my sleep and there's no pain. That I get to go in a gentle way, not be shot or stabbed or raped and killed. My body never found until I was so badly decomposed that I was barely recognizable as even human anymore. I like to call Lucifer Set. I wish you guys could smell this. It smells so good. But in all honesty and fairness, I will say right here now that yes, I realize that Guzion is the 11th of 12 dukes, great dukes of hell. So he's probably one of the highest you could go. And I'm pretty sure something like the title of Duke is a pretty big deal. Is Lucifer Set his boss? I don't know. Maybe. I know that, Brooke herself said that they respect him. And he prefers to be called Set. And if that means referring to the Egyptian version of him, so be it. I have no problem doing that. But I need a break. I need a vacation, and I need the money to be able to go. Constantly, I can't even sit on my couch out here without getting bit. And the 2 bottles that Chris was able to get of this organic bedbug juice that we have that we're trying, he said he was going to saturate the couch with it and never did. And I just feel like we're going to end up running out of it before he finally gets around to doing it, and then it'll be too late. And I want to get this couch out of here
Laris, Satan,
I want to be able to have the people handy that day and be able to go to the free store with us to
Laris,
bring our new couch
Satan,
back and matching chair, or if we can get a sectional that is just one unit,
Remy,
I will move whatever I gotta move to accommodate.
Satan,
And if it means completely rearranging this front room, so be it.
Tasa, Remy, Laris,
Tomorrow or today
Satan,
later when I finally do fall asleep and get a few hours of sleep before I'm up and doing it again.
Remy, Laris,
That's why most days, I try not to get up before 10.
Satanas,
But
Tasa,
other days, I
Remy,
just am so behind on
Laris,
sleep and just so
Satan,
drained
Ave,
that I will
Satanas,
literally have to sleep 12 hours before I feel halfway okay again.
Laris, Satan, Ave, Satanas, Tasa, Remy,
The Hecate one that I do after this is about the same bracket of time.
Ave, Satanas,
It's a
Tasa,
handful of minutes,
Remy,
and I
Laris,
always do them in this
Satan,
order because that's the way I first started
Ave,
doing them.
Satanas, Tasa, Remy,
The day that
Laris,
Chris read out
Satan,
loud about my Gouzion
Ave,
pendant and said very
Satanas,
blatantly,
Tasa,
the Great Duke of
Remy,
Hell, 11 of the 12,
Laris,
and
Satan,
it was given like a bios on
Ave,
him and just how much of a
Satanas,
badass he really is.
Tasa,
But he's here to
Remy,
help. He's here to guide.
Laris, Satan,
He's here to help us learn and grow
Ave, Satanas,
because they've evolved too.
Tasa, Remy,
And yeah,
Laris,
they still have their
Satan,
reservations about humans, but you know what? I am one and I do too.
Tasa, Remy,
Some days I feel like,
Satan,
I'm even failing as a human. I'm being a lousy human because I'm not doing enough for the environment.
Tasa, Remy,
I'm not doing enough to better myself. I want so badly to get this living room cleared out, and I just don't see it happening because I just don't have the room.
Remy, Laris,
I can't afford a storage box right now. The money's not there
Satanas,
because that would be dipping into far too much of the $250 I'm desperately trying to live on per month.
Laris, Satan,
Naomi gets $2,000 a month, and she cannot live on $2,000.
Tasa, Remy,
And I'm like, girl, give it to me. I'll show you just how well I can live on $2,000 a month.
Satanas,
But she just doesn't even try.
Remy,
She
Laris, Satan,
goes on this binge.
Ave,
She wipes through her
Satanas,
money. She wipes her money out within a week.
Remy, Laris,
Her cats are probably dying if one of them's not dead
Ave,
already.
Satanas,
I did not want that to be their fate
Laris,
any more than I wanted it to
Satan,
be their fate to be stuck in an inside city dump,
Satanas, Tasa,
because that's the way my sister lives.
Laris,
She has half-eaten
Satan,
food sitting around with maggots in it and flies everywhere and just trash and
Tasa,
cat
Remy,
feces and
Laris, Satan,
litter box clean outs in several boxes, 4 feet, like not even, about 2 to 4 feet away from where she sleeps
Ave, Satanas,
at night.
Tasa,
And
Remy,
she's breathing
Laris,
that stuff in. That
Satan,
can't be healthy.
Ave,
Her cats
Satanas,
sleep under the pull-out
Tasa,
couch/bed
Remy,
that she sleeps on, lives on,
Satan,
practically. She
Ave,
has to sleep with the TV on all
Satanas,
night. And if you're one of those like me that
Remy,
has to have absolute quiet
Laris,
so I can sleep,
Satan,
and I cannot have a fucking
Ave,
TV running all night,
Satanas,
the minute you get up and turn the
Tasa,
TV off, she'll
Remy,
turn it right back on.
Laris, Satan,
So then I have to
Ave,
take earplugs,
Satanas,
put them in, and hope that she
Tasa,
will at least have the
Remy,
decency to turn the volume down enough
Laris,
that the
Satan,
earplugs will block it out and I can sleep.
Ave, Satanas,
But I wasn't allowed to close the
Tasa,
door.
Remy,
Had to leave the door cracked so the
Laris,
cats could get in and out of
Satan,
it during the night.
Ave,
Got to sleep on a beautiful,
Satanas,
comfortable 4-poster bed,
Tasa,
on a
Remy,
Star Wars pillow under a Star
Laris,
Wars blanket,
Satan,
and it was like my childhood all
Ave,
over again.
Satanas,
It was a
Tasa,
flashback to
Remy, Laris,
the very
Satan,
few
Ave, Satanas,
really happy memories I
Tasa,
have of my
Remy,
childhood associated with Naomi,
Laris, Satan,
where I
Ave,
truly felt that she loved me.
Satanas, Tasa, Remy, Laris, Satan. Ave
She
Satanas.
only loves herself.
Tassa Remi Laris
She's just as
Satan.
bad as Donald Trump.
Ave Satanas. Tassa
And she blatantly goes around to people and says, I'm a God. Like
Ave
that's some
Satanas.
I'm kind of a
Tassa
big deal
Remi
statement, you know.
Laris Satan. Ave Satanas.
So I'm
Tassa
going to take
Remi Laris
my money,
Satan.
some of it, and I'm going to load the $300 on my
Ave
PayPal.
Satanas.
I'm not going to touch
Tassa
it.
Remi
Chris assured me that my Visa won't take any of it. And then when I get my check the end of April,
Tassa
which will be about,
Remi
it'll be 5 days.
Laris Satan.
There's only 30 days in
Ave
April. April
Satanas.
30th is Beltane.
Tassa Remi
But a lot of
Laris
witches
Satan.
celebrate it May 1st.
Ave
I celebrate it
Satanas.
April 30th.
Tassa Remi Laris
I would love to make some
Satan.
crescent cookies again
Ave Satanas.
so that I can start having them for the cakes and wine ceremony that you're supposed to do every time you close out the circle.
Satan.
Celebrate the simple feast, the circle is released.
Tassa Remi Laris Satan. Ave Satanas.
I can honestly say I feel loads better
Satan.
when I listen to these three chants and listen to them in the order that I do, because it was Guzion that I started working with first, so that further inspired and encouraged me that it was totally safe to have Set in the party as well. You know, that he wasn't out to steal my soul.
Ave Satanas. Tassa.
Been there, done that, bought the t-shirt, took it on, burn it.
Satan. Ave Satanas.
I don't want to rule hell.
Tassa.
I don't want to rule hell. No. I don't want that to be my fate. I mean, I've had Lilith summon me to hell before, and she thought she would try the old, I'm an innocent little girl, and how could I possibly be dangerous ploy that I wasn't about to fall for a minute, because I knew better. I knew who she was. She obviously knew who I was, and she was testing me to see if I would falter or if I would be strong and I would defeat her. I would stand my ground. I did. Had this ring on. She said she liked it the most because it looked like blood. And she said, why do you wear that one? For God. And her eyes got real big and like popped out of her head, and then I was out of there. Just like God himself just said, okay, that's enough, time to go. I wasn't frightened. I wasn't intimidated. I wasn't threatened. I was just of the attitude, what do you want? Why are you summoning me here? Don't do the innocent little girl ploy, because I'm not buying it. I know better. She had long black hair. She had a crimson gown on. She had a big black bow in the back of her dress. She had like some kind of sheer over top of the front of it. Blood red dress. She was laying in she was sitting in a high back chair that you would see a very wealthy man would use as his personal throne kind of chair. We were in what looked like a dressing room. I remember it well. Okay, I need to get back to... Hang on, I gotta find the other chant. What are you doing? I did not ask for you. I asked for you to go back so that I can do this. And I can do... Punch in... Where's this? Okay. Hecate. And chanting. $18.03. That's the one. Also Hecate. Ooh. Kind of like that one. And it's only 13 minutes 34 seconds opposed to 18 minutes 8 seconds. Which one should I do? Should I do 1334 or the 1803? Let's try this one and see if I like it. No, I think I'll go with this one. This one is my favorite Hecate chant, and I love the symbol because it's a nice purple color, and I love purple. I'm gonna read something here in a little bit.
Anana Hecate Air.
Let me try this.
Anana Hecate Air. 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 Anana Hecate Air.
It's almost 4 o'clock in the morning, so when this chant is done, I probably will end this live stream. I've been on here 2 hours and almost 30 minutes and some odd seconds. So sorry I had to pause there for a few, but I'm just really that exhausted, wiped out, tired. And I've got more to do today. How much of it am I actually going to get done? Or am I just going to procrastinate again and end up being forced to take the day off and do virtually nothing? Except, I wish I could get my tablet to let me do video footage again. And I wish I could figure out how to go live using my tablet on YouTube so I could do live streams. Because that's one of the things that I was planning on using, so I did the test run of, let's see how this one goes. And if this one works, then I'll go. If I can get my tablet to allow me to have unlimited footage, at least a couple of hours worth before it dies on me, you know. I stumbled across these chants quite by accident. I was inspired to look up Guzian meditations, and that's where I came up with the one that I listen to every time usually, and it's the 16 minutes 31 seconds. Then I listen to one per set. The 17 minutes and some odd seconds, and then I listen to this one, which is about in the 17 bracket, roughly, or thereabouts. Excuse me. Just about everything gives me gas anymore, you know. But I'm not going to be like Omar and light my fart on fire and end up lighting my whole butt on fire. I saw that, and I thought it was hilarious. I'd love to meet Omar, because I feel like we would hit it off. We would be like instant best friends, because he's a Pisces, and I have a brother that's a Pisces, so he'd love me. And for those of you that do follow me, you know that I'm a witch, and you know I'm Capricorn. Came into my power at the age of 13. Almost burnt my room down in the process, but at least I was guided by spirits how to douse the fire, because there was no way I was blowing it out. I had literally got so entranced that I caused a table to catch on fire and start melting and thought that the candle was still there and it wasn't there anymore. I think, is it this one or is it the gray? Let me see. I gotta find the right one here. The good, the bad, the ugly. Okay, this is gonna take me a minute because I think I wrote one of my Creepy Hollows things in here. It's something I got recently, and if I don't find it, then I'll have to find the gray notebook like this that I'm pretty sure the information I'm looking for is in. Okay, from the picnic table. Dream journal. Moochie Boochie. What you doing, baby? I'm sorry, I've got your throughway blocked. I could have just stepped over it. I didn't put it in this one. I think I ended up putting. Oh! Getting clubbed in the shoulder by my cat. What is she doing? I'm sorry. Did you want me to move that so you can get over there? Hang on. Here. There you go. Go on. Go on. Going through. What are you doing? What in the world are you scratching at, you silly cat? I don't think she's wrapped too tight. I think she's got the black cat madness. Because sometimes she just does the weirdest shit, and I'm like, what are you doing? Marcon meetup. I only got to go to one. Okay. Huh. Okay, so it must be in the other one. And I don't want to spend all night trying to find it, so I gotta remember where my gray version of this notebook is, because as you can see, this one's green. The one I'm looking for is gray. And I think it might be in my backpack, if I'm not mistaken. I think Hecate's chant is over. Oh no, it's got a few minutes yet. Okay, let me go put this stuff up. Yeah, that candle seems to be working real good. So, yay! It's not breaking my burner. It was a successful experiment. Now I know that it's. I was right that it needed a certain. Gray folder. Wherefore art thou, my gray folder? Supposed to be here. No, don't think it is. Let me check. Okay, there's my little Buddha. There's my craft. Okay, not in there. Make sure. This one is strictly my study materials. Don't think it's in here. There's the book. Nope. Which means the only other place it can realistically plausibly be. Oh my god, this thing's getting heavy. It's in my bag. Oh, that was cool. Where did that come from? Let me try back here. Because it's going to be anywhere. It should be in here. There's my vessels. Here's that. Here's this, which is vintage. So I try to make it last. Okay, there's my camera. There's the other two books. I don't think any of it's in here. I don't remember writing any of it in the plaque. So it's not in there. I think it's going to be in this smallest one. Because it won't fit in there. So I need to find my gray. Gray folder. It's not in here. Somebody, again, I think maybe this might have been Paulette, my sister Paulette. Sorry, Carmela gave me a ace bandage or something. Gentle wrap, fully flexible. Because I said that when it comes to the heat patches that I sometimes use for my back, it's okay, Mooch. It's okay. Mochi. Come on, stop. It's okay. Guys, leave her alone, Carmela. Don't even act like you're going to jump up there. Don't make me smack you. Moochie, come around this way, baby. Come around this way. Don't jump at her. I mean it. I will fucking smack you. You are not going to bother her. You hear me? I am not going to tolerate that crap from you no more. You and Carmela need to cut the crap and stop being so mean to her. Because she's done nothing to deserve it. She's done nothing to either one of you. And if I have to cast the spell myself, I will. Okay, so I'm down to 91%. I did all three of my chants, so that's at least some kind of an accomplishment. Got my camera, but probably do have to do some video footage because there's some that I have not viewed, and I don't need it with that because now that's working. See, I was right. I'm so glad I was right about those. And I just bought one box of them, so I only got 16, but I will definitely make this candle last as long as I reasonably can. But before I go any further in my optimism, I will say this to all the paranormal investigates that I've ever watched. Yes, I say investigates. I know people call it investigators, but I call it investigates. I make my own language. You'll get used to that with me. It's my unique way of viewing things. Gatling gun. Shout out to Peyton, Colin, Olivia, Andrew, Brooke, CJ, Omar, Mo, Rennie, sorry. I can't think of all of them. I haven't I wish that some of them would show me some love and subscribe to my vlogs. And that's part of the reason why I haven't subscribed to any of theirs, because even at like $4.99 a month, yeah, that's an absolute great deal. But what entails doing that? Like, what do you get? I know that Omar said that he tries to be more personal with fans, and with the whole social distancing thing, you watch, the next big thing is going to be no more fan meetups, because guess what? That too is a large group of people in a small space, and it doesn't mean a doggone thing that they're outside. They're still in close proximity of each other, and if they breathe on their comrades, they could get it. If they have it and don't know they have it, and they breathe on somebody, they could give it to them. I don't want to see that happen to any of them. For those that I haven't mentioned your name, I apologize. There's so many of you that, and I doubt any of you will. I hate to say this, but I doubt any of you will ever make your way to this channel, and let alone subscribe. And I just wanted a chance to meet you guys and to get at least on a, okay, I kind of know you a little better basis, at least, if nothing else, Like, something that would cheer me up during a time like this would be a phone call from Omar. He had this, I think he said it was called Live Raise. It's free to download. It's a free app, but I'm running out of data space on my phone, and I'm afraid if I put one more thing on there, Chris is going to have an aneurysm, and I'm going to get the third degree about it because I'm using up all my data. And it's like, well, at least I'm using it in a way that I enjoy. I'm doing something I like to do. I mean, you like to play your games. I like to live stream. Slowly but surely, when time allows, I'm going to have my own video camera. And I'm hoping that it will drop in price, like at least $10 by the time I finally have the money to actually get it. Leave her alone! Too much to do. Overwhelmed. Andrew, Olivia, I hope you're okay. I hope you make your 4,000 likes. And, Andrew keeps his word. I know he will. And he drops the next part in that video series of, I'm quarantined with a demon that's wanting to kill my family. News at 11. My heart goes out to him and Olivia, because I know Olivia just don't want to be there. But once she can finally feel comfortable enough to fall asleep, irregardless of the fact that there's a very mean, nasty demon running around the house that is HE double toothpicks bent on killing Andrew's family, him included. And I don't believe he deserves that fate. He's a great guy. He's been through a lot. I've seen the pictures of what his mom's face looked like when the demon punched her dead in the face and knocked her down a flight of steps trying to kill her. Driving his dad mad. And Andrew feels like he's being forced into madness himself because it's the only way that he may stand a chance defeating him or defeating it. And he said he has regular discussions apparently with Zozo. I don't want Zozo anywhere around here, so please don't allow him anywhere near me or anyone I love and care about, living or dead, human or non, because he's a really bad guy. And he has outright said in a live stream or video before with Andrew that he wanted his ASS. And Andrew said, why do you want ASS? And he said, I want to FUCK you and stuff. And it's like, just evil. And he's like, I am being forced to go to a dark place I don't want to go, that I swore I was going to stay away from and stay out of. And now here I am again. I'm endangering my girlfriend. I'm endangering any pets that we have. I'm endangering myself because I don't want it to kill my family. But guess what? I am part of my family. So, yeah, I'm on the list too. I myself question all the skeletons in the closet and how far back it goes, all the way back to my first ancestor. Back during a time when the Mists of Avalon is, I'm sure, a very real place. But you have to be in a certain level of magic knowledge and level of skill magically before you find it. It's 10 after 4 in the morning. I guess I better close this session out, download my latest video footage and stuff from my camera so I can erase it, go through and erase it all and use it again. Because right now it's looking like I have no choice but to put up with. I might be able to do still shots with my tablet, but I would rather have video footage. And I really could appreciate some help from anybody out there that has enough technological skill and patience that they can help me figure out how to navigate and use my YouTube studio to its fullest. Start taking on some of the editing myself so I can learn how to do it, because I'm not going to get any help from Chris. He's already said as much. So I'm on my own. Because he just can't bring himself down to lower levels to teach somebody because he's too high up in the levels himself. And his intolerance of other people is getting worse. I'm not looking forward to spending my summer more down in the basement or outside, weather permitting, than up here with him and pissing away another day watching YouTube videos, live streaming, struggling along, trying to come up with good content, but I have no tools. I have no table that I can put out on my lap that I can do any kind of a reading on. All my tools and all that space is downstairs. I just didn't have the energy to drag it all out today. I got to take fresher offerings down for G. I'm thinking about actually going to the store and getting some more bananas myself, even if it's just a small batch of them, like maybe four of them or something, and that way I can cut one in half, cut it up into small little chunks, keep it upstairs in the fridge in a container, put the date on it so that Chris knows, okay, please don't throw this away. If they're still sitting in here by this date, then go ahead and throw them away. Just don't throw away the container, because we've lost a lot of other containers, and I meant to get our container back from downstairs that I forgot to grab, and I ended up putting in her sink. She's going to be working. And that's Norma's place. And I love how clean and clusterfuck free her place is. And she really keeps her house nice. And that's what I would like to see for this apartment. For our place, our little niche in the world, because right now that's all we have. Our little niche in the world, and I wish that $1,200 check would be on my card tomorrow. Or sometime today. Early afternoon, around 3 o'clock would be ideal. So then I will have no problem paying back everything I owe, including the $200 that I ended up having to spend because I needed it to live on. We needed groceries. We can only go to so many food pantries a month. And then it's a matter of time. You're gonna go through, if you go to a different one every week, then yeah, you're gonna have plenty of food that's gonna last you a while. I'm gonna have to go through the heck of and the nightmare of calling the welfare office again today and see if I can talk to a person and ask them if the state hearing date and time has been set, because I never received the letter. And even if I did, I can't find it. So I will say, look, I've never gotten the letter. Could you please just send me another one, because I don't want to miss another appointment because the letter gets here a day late. And that's not my fault. That's on you guys on that end, because you're not doing your effing job and you're not doing it right because you just don't care. And you will conveniently make my paperwork get lost in the bottom of your tray because I'm not black. And I'm not a wigger. I'm not somebody that thinks they're white but wants to be a nigger. In my opinion, when I say nigger, those are the bad ones. That I don't say all blacks are niggers. Only the ones that are assholes are niggers to me. Only the ones that are outright cruel ass fucking bitches that do some of the shit they do, and they're high maintenance BS, and they've got to have the best of everything, and they've got to have freaking Barbie doll figure, big boobs, and be willing to spread for anybody. I have to constantly keep my other two cats off of Moochie. Chris does the same. Well, I was going to read to you what it means in more detail of what I say when I say I am ethereal. And it was a gray notebook that I wrote this in, and now I got to remember where that notebook is so that I can read it again and read it on my digital recorder and read it on the live stream. Sorry, I try not to pause too long because I realize that I am still live streaming. Nobody wants to sit here and watch me sleep any more than I want to go over to my mom's house today and watch her sleep, because she's going to be asleep more than she's going to be awake. And when she's awake, she's not always going to be in a cheery mood. Sometimes the Hyde comes out in her, and then nobody wants to be around her. I hear birds outside. They're some of the first that you hear in the morning when it's twilight. And you draw nature spirits, and it's pretty awesome. So I guess I will close this out for now. Thanks for any of you that came and popped in, even just a handful of minutes, and liked the video. Show me some love, because I show y'all love all the time. How about paying forward and bringing some my way and get me that 1,000 subs so I can start accepting donations and receiving donations so I can get my business going and use YouTube as my preferred method of advertising, which will make them money while I'm making money for myself. So thank you, whoever this was from. I'm pretty sure it was Paulette. Bless her. But if I'm going to use a heating pad on my back tonight, I'm probably going to use the one that you zap in the microwave for 30 or 40 seconds and then take it out because there's a clay in it that retains the heat for longer periods of time. And I'm hoping that the heat will be enough to agitate the bed bugs and make them leave me alone. So much to do, and I just feel like I want to do good with my channel. I want to make it unique and versatile so that some of the time it's just me discussing hobbies that I like. Other times it's me letting people know that I'm getting together some concoctions that I'm going to have for sale soon, and I'm going to have to find a way to sell them online using YouTube. Like, get me a shop. Like, live a little merch. Oh my gosh, give me a kiss. Motivated. Just so tired. Can't keep my eyes open anymore. So, peace. Blessed be all. May the witch be with you always. And I will see you guys next time. Bye. 2 hours, 56 minutes.